just listen in. And this would be the best time ever for you to maybe just invite somebody else that you think you might want to share this with, or you think needs to hear about this. This is the best time to invite them on in. I want you guys to meet again my professional nutritionist, Miss Robin Allen, who has been doing, who is a trained and certified nutrition coach for 11 years. Her business is called Necessary Nutrition. And I have asked her to honor us with her presence here because, I have a wonderful experience, but she's got the training. So I'm exposing you guys to a professional. We're not just chatting. You're getting the real deal here. So I'm glad you guys are on. Just sit back and listen and take it away, Robin.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
And can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So my name is Robin, and as Dr. Brinetta said, I am a nutritionist. I've been in the industry for 11 years, and I've seen a lot as far as how nutrition has changed. And so I want to share with you how it's changed, what you kind of need to pay attention to, and then what you can do about it. And some of it's pretty daunting as I think about it. But let's talk about back in the day. Back in the day, food was different. Maybe there was a milkman. You sat at the table and ate with your family, and food was fresh then. Now today, things are different, right? Let's go back. Today, it's like big gulps and eating in the car and fast food and a lot of preservatives in our food. And because of that, the food that we're consuming, our bodies don't necessarily like that as much. So over the years, to give you this picture, to paint this example, that a hamburger, and maybe you don't even eat hamburgers, but back in the day, the hamburger that our grandparents ate was so different from what we're eating today. And hear this, when you go and if you eat chicken, you might be vegan, but I'll paint this example for you. And maybe this is why you're vegan, because you know this information, but the chickens are really big. So if you get a chicken breast, it's huge. And a chicken, it takes 78 days for the chicken to be ready for you to consume it, or the consumers to consume it. That's how long it's supposed to take. But through mass production of food and hormones and everything, we now can get a chicken to your table in 48 days. Now, the problem with that is tampering with nature. So that's like a baby needing 10 months to become a baby, but now you've been able to put some extra hormones in the baby, and now the baby can come out in 6 months. When that happens, if you think about the hormones that are going into the chicken, right, to make it fatter quicker, when we eat that, that is also what we're getting in our bodies. So what made the chicken fatter quicker is making us fatter too. It stores in our cells, and it makes it very difficult for us sometimes to even get the pounds off. And if you think about like a tomato back in the day was, you could smell it, you could taste it, it was a tomato. Now it's changed. It is altered in such a way that it doesn't even have the nutrition that it used to have. And with the processed foods, they're made in such a way. And actually, I saw this hamburger from McDonald's from, I think it was 15 years old or something absurd, but it still looked like a hamburger, and it didn't spoil, and it wasn't rotten because of all the preservatives. So can you imagine eating something that is void of nutrition, that is just stays in that same state of being? You're not getting the nutrition out of it. And in fact, it's so super foreign to your body. And when we're talking about trying to live and eat to live, we're challenged sincerely by that. Now let's talk about the produce. So we talked about it in general, how food is just not the same. We have the chemicals in the foods, right? And we have the food that even when it's the produce, it's not the same. So the soil that your tomatoes grow from, or your eggplant or whatever the case may be, it's depleted of the nutrients and the vitamins and the minerals. So the agriculture that we have today is just stripped of a lot of the stuff that we need, that our body recognizes in order to be healthy. So just to give you a snapshot, in the 90s, there was the FDA started introducing GMOs, and GMOs are genetically modified organisms or seeds. So that, and the reason why they've been introduced is because these seeds, you can manipulate them. They are resistant to pesticides, so crops don't die, and more money, basically. Because if you have a crop as a farmer and your crop died because of bugs or what have you, there your money went. So you're not happy. So they've come up with this way to make the seeds like indestructible, right? And in doing that, that is now our bodies are not recognizing the food the same. Hence, all of the digestion problems that we have, the irritable bowel, the constipation, the bloated, and so many things that I'll tell you a little bit more about as well. So that's when it started happening in the 90s is when, so before the 90s, we were better off. and so today we're challenged. Today, and I'm saying this, but I believe that you can recognize this, that 2/3 of us struggle with obesity. And as I said to you, it's not just you eat too much and it's your fault. It's so many chemicals in there that it's very, very difficult. I think there's a commercial, a Lay's commercial that says, you can't eat just one or something like that. Like literally, it's hard for you to eat just one, because think about a drug, heroin or meth or something that is like taboo. It's a drug, right? So it's very difficult to not, if you get started on it, it's very hard to stop. Well, food is like that too, because how many times you're just like, oh my goodness, I want to lose weight. I want to stop. I don't want to eat that, but it's calling you. Like it's very difficult to get away from it because there are the chemicals in there that trigger certain things in your brain, right? So it's not all your fault. It's not about willpower, because it's very difficult to actually stay away from food that is chemically laced to trigger some pleasure in your brain. But so I mentioned a lot of our society is overweight. Now, heart disease and stroke on the rise. This is what concerns me when we're talking about cancer, when we're talking about breast cancer in women, younger women. Now, and I know y'all know people that are having these challenges. We didn't used to see all this cancer at all. It is a direct correlation to the chemicals in the food and the nutrients that we're not getting in our body. So we're flooded with more chemicals and we don't have enough armor in our body. We don't have enough nutrients in our cells to fight off what's trying to get us. Respiratory diseases, so more asthma, more COPD. I mean, there's so much asthma now. Diabetes, Alzheimer's. That is like, these are new issues that were happening a little bit, but now it's like almost in an epidemic fashion. So you have, where'd I go? Y'all still see, can you still see my screen? You can, okay. All type kidney disease, autism. Now, where did that come from, right? Now more and more and more, it's like all this autism and on the spectrum, like that's new stuff in a lot. So it's happening and it's scary, and it's kind of like, okay, so what do we do about it? And so I want to talk to you a little bit about, and let me go back to this, the autoimmunes, the lupus, the fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, celiac disease, thyroid abnormalities, Crohn's disease, eczema. As I'm saying this, I know that some of you all know people that are dealing with this, and you might be dealing with this. Anxiety, not too many clients come to me now that they are not having something going on. Constipation is a challenge, and then so many food allergies and intolerances. That's what we are dealing with today. And as I mentioned before, there's a direct correlation between the processing of the foods and what we're consuming and the diseases that we're facing. I'm going out a little bit. I just want to make sure that there's no one in the waiting room, because I have people in the waiting room, so I don't want to have them waiting and I can't see them very well. So that all of that makes me feel sad. And as I said, as a nutritionist, I've just seen things decline over the time, and it's unbelievable. So being sick and being on pharmaceuticals and being overweight and all of that stuff is making some money for some folks. So being well there's not a lot of money, right, in being well. The money is in you being sick and having to go to the doctor and needing the pharmaceuticals. I mean, there's so much money in there. And literally, like, fruits and vegetables can eliminate a lot of these challenges, but nobody can really put a patent on fruits and vegetables. I mean, that's from the earth and it's natural, so it's not a lot of money in that. So the money or the society is just pushing all of the unhealthy things on us. But there's good news, y'all. I feel like I've painted a bleak picture, right, of the reality of what's going on. But I want to talk about some things that you can do. So I'm not going to ask you to stop eating this, that, or the other. I'm not going to ask you to do that. I'm just going to ask you and say what you can do as a start. Because change is a challenge, but we got to start somewhere, or not. But if you really want to be well and feel well and look well, I used to be overweight, pre-diabetic. I wasn't doing well, and I realized that food will either kill you or keep you alive. That literally the illnesses and diseases that we face are due in part to what you put in your mouth or what you don't put in your mouth. And that what it is. You can either fuel your body or you can take away from your cells and your livelihood by food that we eat. And so that is my passion, is just to share with you. I'm not going to tell you to overhaul everything. I'm just going to say, start small, take baby steps, and let me share with you some of the things that I do and that I recommend. Recommending that you put more plant foods in your body. Because when you're doing that, hear me when I say, let me give you this example. When you eat hot Cheetos, I don't know if you do, but I like hot Cheetos. I'm just telling you the truth. So when you eat, I know it's like you can relate. So when you're eating a hot Cheetos, it's yummy to the tummy, but you're not getting any vitamins out of it. There's no vitamin A and vitamin C, no fiber. There's nothing in it to fuel your body. So your body, your tongue, your palate, your stomach may have liked it, but it was nothing that you could use to generate and have your cells be well, right? Nothing. Now, if you ate broccoli or carrots or asparagus or kiwi, now your body has some phytonutrients and really good nutrition to build you up from a cellular level. So why people get sick, right, is because their immune system just didn't have what it needed to overcome what it was going through. And so the more plants you put in your body, the more nutrients and fuel and fighter food that you have in your body. There is no disease or ailment that I can think of that cannot be helped by more plant food. Whenever you go to the doctors, even though they're writing a prescription, they might tell you, oh, you got to change your diet. You got to lose weight. You got to change your diet. If you're diabetic, you got to change everything is like change your diet, but we don't change our diet, right? Because it's hard. You walk right out of the doctor's office and you go get you a hamburger or something, right? So my thing to you is add more plant foods, and I'm going to tell you how to do that. Because the reality is we need 9 to 13 servings of raw fruits and vegetables daily to combat what is going on in the environment, in the food that we're consuming. That's good news and bad news. It used to be, and some of y'all can relate when it would say 5 a day. Oh, just eat 5 a day. Well, your 5 a day doesn't work anymore because that one piece of broccoli that had nutrition in it, you need like 7 of those, to get the same value. because, as I mentioned, it's just the way the food is grown. So even when you're eating fruits and vegetables that are from the store, because that's what we're doing. Okay, Robin said, eat more fruits and vegetables, which you should. But when you go to the store, it's not as nutritious. Now, I can say this. When you go to farmers markets, a lot of their produce has a higher nutritional value. So I recommend that. When the produce is in the store, it's not vine ripened. And let me tell you why that is important. So the produce has to be picked before it's ripe, so that when it sits on the shelf at Albertsons or Stater Brothers, it doesn't go bad quick. So they want to get the most out of that tomato, if you will. So they have to pick it, and then it's kind of ripening while it's on the shelf. There again, that's like detaching the produce or detaching the baby from the mother before it's ready to be out in the world. So you're taking away that nutrition. Then we might just cook that vegetable, of course. And so now it's like very, very little nutrients in there, and we're asking our cells to fight off all of these things, right? So that's the challenge with the produce that you find in the store. I actually grow my own produce, a lot of it, and so does Dr. Brinetta. And so she's working on that, right? So the one simple change that I'm going to introduce you to, because this is the one thing that I find that has been useful to my family, to my clients. And what I find when I tell you more about it is that it has a very high compliance rate. Because if I tell you, I need you to eat 9 to 13 raw served fruits and vegetables every day, or juice them every day. Juicing is expensive, it's messy, it's time consuming, you're not gonna do it, right? So I found something that I wanna introduce you all to. As a nutritionist, I would say this, I wouldn't recommend, well, y'all don't know me, so I can't, trust me, right? But as a nutritionist, I can't recommend, or I wouldn't recommend something to my clients, that I don't take and that I don't believe in. And when I first heard about the fruits and vegetables in a capsule, initially I was like, yeah, right, just eat your fruits and vegetables. Like, that is what I initially said. But once I read all the research journals from all the prestigious universities and all of the studies, I was like, okay, let me see. So I started taking them for myself and my daughter. Now for me, I didn't see anything for 1 year. Okay, now I didn't get sick in a year. But what I didn't notice a noticeable change for 1 year. But this is what I did notice after that. And things were happening to me gradually, so I didn't notice. One of the things is that my nails were so strong that my nail lady, she's like, I don't even know why you have these gels or these acrylics on your nails anymore. So I took them off after like 10, 15 years of wearing them. My hair is so strong, grows like crazy. My skin, I don't use any moisturizer on it at all. But the thing that made me super, super, super excited was my dental health. So my teeth used to bleed. And when I would go to the dentist, they would get on my case and tell me I wasn't flossing enough, which was absolutely true. And then I would go back and they'd say, oh my goodness, Robin, you're flossing, girl. You were doing really well. And I'm like, I hadn't flossed any more than I flossed when she told me to. But what I had done was take the Juice Plus or take my fruits and vegetables in a capsule. So that was the one thing that I did to fuel my body and change. It is not a vitamin. When people call it a vitamin, I get a little sad because it's not a vitamin. A vitamin is a synthetic rendition of nutrients. So with Juice Plus, it is, I don't know if you can see me. Can you see me? Can you see this? Okay, so it's in a capsule. It's literally the orange, the apple pits, peels, and seeds ground up into a powder, the water taken out so it's considered raw, and it is real produce. So a vitamin, right, is synthetic. It has a supplements label on it, and if you take too many vitamins, you might have to go to the hospital. Juice Plus is literally has a nutrition facts label. It's the same label you would see on broccoli, or if you go to the store and you buy food. It's a food. So you don't take Juice Plus, you literally technically eat it. So I just want to let y'all know it's not a vitamin. Now, what to expect by taking Juice Plus? Because people are like, okay, what is that? So I want to have a couple people tell you their stories, but I want to ask you this question. You don't have to answer, but just think about it. What do you think would happen to your body if you flooded your body every day with 30 different raw fruits and vegetables? Your body, from a cellular level, is going to level up, because it's such a departure from what we're doing now, such a departure from what you have in your body now, that your cells are going to respond in the way that it needs to respond. And for me, not noticing something for a year, you don't notice I didn't get cancer today. You don't notice that, oh, my heart, my plaque in my arteries didn't, grow or anything like that. You don't notice what's happening to you from a cellular level. So now some people take Juice Plus and they immediately notice a difference. I can't say that that's everybody's story, but Dr. Brinetta, share what happened or what is happening to you since you've been taking it.
You guys really know me. You guys know I've been a vegan for a long time, and I ended up having, so the vegan couldn't get those 9 to 13 servings of vegetables in. But I started having some issues with my white blood cell count. And when I asked the doctor what I should do about it, he said, you've got to get these green leafy vegetables. And I had a problem in my body where I wasn't absorbing that. It was a problem. And I remembered that, Robin, it's been like almost a year and a half, maybe almost, it'll be 2 in April, I think, mentioning this. And I said, you know what, I got to get on this stuff. I got to try it. And lo and behold, I did start it. And I'm going to be honest, I live real clean. So I noticed a change in my body right away. I noticed that I was sleeping better. I noticed my alert levels better. And I noticed that, what was the third thing? There was something, well, I always have energy, but I was sleeping when I sleep. And then I was awake when I'm awake. And that just felt great. But after about 20 days, I didn't even get 30 days on the product. But after about 20 days, the doctor said, I need to do another blood sample, because if this isn't working, we've got to do something quick. And I went from the white blood count cell of a 3.2 all the way up to a 4.6. You guys, that's in 20 days. This stuff got in my blood and worked. The nutrition of it just worked. So when I tell you I have proof, and so from there I was sold.
Wow. Thank you for that. And I always, sometimes I get emotional about it, because there's people that kick and scream about doing, they're skeptical, as I was, but it's fruits and vegetables. It's just our body doesn't get enough. Adrian, are you there somewhere?
Oops. Yes.
Where are you, Adrian?
So I started.
Can you quickly share?
I'm not there anymore. I think I'm
no,
there.
You are here. Just quickly share. I would say quickly share about your
So I started taking Juice Plus after my sister died from cancer. I knew I needed to do something for my health. I was pretty freaked out. I was depressed. I was scared, and there was no way I was going to eat a lot of vegetables. I wanted a lot of Chinese food. So I took the capsules because one of my friends said, that's what you need. It's just fruits and vegetables. And I was very numbed out, but I noticed first I knew I wouldn't feel guilty that I wasn't doing something. So that I didn't care if it worked or not. I didn't have any expectations. It's just, fruits and vegetables. But my head was clearer in the morning. I didn't have that fuzzy brain when I woke up. My energy level was better. So I stopped needing to take a nap every afternoon. I would still schedule it in, but then I think, not that tired. I'm able to drive for several hours going to LA to see my parents without having to pull over and take a nap like I used to do. And at 68, I feel better than I did in my 20s or my 30s or my 40s. I started when I was 45, I started taking Juice Plus. And my parents at 98 are still going pretty strong. So it just, and I needed something easy. And they talk about just making one simple change. I could take some capsules with some water. It was easier than flossing, and it would make a difference. I mean, I could swallow those capsules. So it changed my life so many ways. So thanks for letting me share, Robin.
Thank you. I always say to those of you that are listening, the question is, what if, what if we're crazy, right? What if we tell you to take these fruits and vegetables, a capsule, and we're just pretending and we're trying to just dupe you. Or what if it works? What if your body responds in such a way that you can't even imagine, you know? Juice Plus comes in a 4-month supply. Why? You can't get a sample. You can't just try for 1 month, because research shows that you need to be consistent for 4 months so that it gets into your blood supply. And we know in 4 months your blood will change. So that's why it comes in a 4-month supply. The good news is when you as an adult get Juice Plus, you can sponsor a child for free. So I have a 13-year-old. She started taking Juice Plus when she was 11. And that was really part of my motivation as well. Because I'm like, oh, my daughter gets it for free. You know, I jumped on the chance, and my daughter doesn't get sick. Her peers get sick. She doesn't. So as an adult, you can sponsor a child between the ages of 4 and 18, or a college student up to 26 years old. That is awesome. Now, that's a 2-for-1. Now, people always ask this question, because this is the scary part, like, oh my gosh, how much is it, right? And so let me answer that for you. And let me answer it with my own example, because I'm a nutritionist. I love myself, but I caught myself asking that same very question. Well, how much is it? And I asked that question, and I this is a true story. I had a really nice purse, Michael Kors. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. And I'm not trying to name drop. I'm just telling you, I had a very nice purse and very nice boots. And I never asked how much the purse cost when I went to Nordstrom's. I never asked how much those boots. But when somebody offered me something for my health, I was like, wait a minute, how much does it cost? You know, I was like, right? And then I thought to myself, Robin, you're nuts. Not only are you a nutritionist, but what value are you putting on your own health? Like, what are you worth, right? But the answer is, it's not that much. It's a wonderful, it's not even like, it's less than Starbucks every day. So if you drink Starbucks every day, or you go get some fast food it's less than that. And it's just a part of my grocery bill now. That's just how it's just a part of my grocery bill. And there's no questions asked. So when you ask how much, and I will ask you, what are you worth? What are you worth? So to get your hands on Juice Plus, and I'll open it up for just a couple of questions because I want to keep it in a timely manner. You want to contact the person that invited you here. So that's how you can get your hands on Juice Plus. And then myself, as the nutritionist, I want to offer something to you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, so I want to just come out and see everybody. I create nutrition roadmaps. That is what I do. That is what people pay me for, the big bucks. So any of you that decide to get your Juice Plus, I got to put a time frame on it. So let's say in the next couple of days, 2 days, if you get your Juice Plus, I'm going to make sure you have a full nutrition roadmap that will last you. I usually help people release up to 40 pounds. That nutrition roadmap will be 4 weeks. You can choose a vegan plan. You can choose, people are doing intermittent fasting. You can choose regular, dairy-free, gluten-free, all of that. I have created them all. And all Dr. Brinetta has to do is tell me, and I will make sure that you get the nutrition plan, and you also have access to me to ask me questions. And I told you, people pay me for that. That's my day job. But I believe in the Juice Plus nutrition so much, and I want to inspire you to take action, because sometimes we're thinking about it, and then, you know, I want you to take action, and I want to support you wholeheartedly in your journey to health and better health. So with that being said, I want to thank you so much for being here and for allowing me to share what I'm passionate about, which has helped me and my family so much. I would love to take a couple of questions. It is officially 6:30, so I always want to be respectful of everyone's time. So if anyone has to go, we're not mad at you. You stayed until the end, but I absolutely welcome any questions, or we can answer for you. And you're welcome to, you can unmute yourself, you can type it in, you can be shy and not ask any questions at all. But I'm here to support you if you have any questions. And you have to.
So I did want to say that to all of you that are on the line for the Be Well support group, I hope that you've heard some things today that are like eye-opening, because the majority of you are on here in the group because you did say, I want to lose some weight. And so this is, hopefully you heard the background that says you might be experiencing weight challenges, and it's not your fault. It's because of the way things are going. Oh, look whose little face is over there. Hey, you. And so I want to say that. And if you are interested in ordering, then all you have to do is call me after this call, and I will sign you up. Now let's talk some real numbers. I don't know who all is on here. Let's see, but I know that, oh yeah, I see Mom BJ. There you are, Mom BJ. All right. So Mom BJ is using it. Pastor BJ is using the Juice Plus, and I know she's having a ball with it. So again, all you have to do is call me after this call. I want to say congratulations to Tanisha Walker, who called me yesterday and ordered her product. Now, Robin, really quickly, how much time do we have? Do we have another moment if other people have questions?
Yeah, so I'm going to it's funny because my daughter